It is the technology show where we translate geek into regular speak. It is Thursday. There have been holidays. There's been citizenship ceremonies. There's been religious holidays. There's been Queen memorials. There's been people going overseas. I'm going overseas. There's just so many things going on that trying to keep a regular time is not going to happen for the next month, unfortunately. But the show must go on. So it is Thursday at nearly 2 o'clock, and we're live. So as with everything, let's get straight into it. Share up my screen, and we are going to go into things with a Z. So about a year ago, and I say about a year ago because I think it was December last year, I reviewed this product. This was the Carplay Lite A from a company called Coral Vision. So when they reached out to me, and basically, as you can see from the pictures, if you're watching, if you're listening, I'll just quickly talk through it. It's about a 7 or 8 inch device that you put into your car, and it gives you Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. As I said, the show was about the middle of December last year. You can go and find it on any of our channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And basically, yeah, a car that was analog could now be fully featured. I have been using this up until now. And the only reason I've stopped using it is that Coral Vision reached out to me and said, we have this new product that we're launching. Would you like to try it? So I sat there for a second. I was like, let me think about this. Hell yeah. So let's go into the R9 Magic Mirror CarPlay Dashcam. I think I got that right. So if you're watching, you'll see that what it is it's an attachment that goes onto a rear view mirror. It has a built-in camera as well, so it acts as a dash cam, but the mirror side of it, the part that you look at, has a digital screen, a full digital touch screen. So you can run all your CarPlay or Android Auto apps by touching the mirror, and you've still got your rear view. So you say to me, Brett, how does this work? How do we see out the mirror? Well, this is the thing. Let's just start with some of the initial requirements. You do need to install a rear view camera. As this device clips over your mirror, you do lose your mirror. Now, for me personally, this is great because I've actually put the installation into Gail's car. But whenever I drive her car, she always turns the mirror so she can look at her makeup because the visor doesn't have a passenger seat mirror. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. Well, she can't do it now because if you turn the mirror, there is no mirror. Everything is fed through from the camera outside. So you do need to install a rear view camera. For those of you that know me, and as someone who is very proud of being a techie, I'm not really so good when it comes to actually installing things and wiring and all those good things. So if you're looking, you'll see on the picture, I've got wires hanging down from the mirror. Those probably should have got, well, the one has to go down, well, actually can go up and around because it's a cigarette lighter for power. And reading through the manual, I see no reason why you couldn't actually hardwire it into the battery. I'm definitely not good for that. But the second wire, which is hanging down, that is I'm trying to think what that is. That's the USB-C charger. So you can actually charge your phone off there as well. You can hardwire your phone. You don't need to, like the original device that I reviewed. It does work wirelessly as well. But that wire could also have been tucked up and hidden away quite nicely along the roof or inside the roof. So without the camera, you're not going to be able to use this as a mirror. Now, I stand corrected, but a rear view mirror is actually not a legal requirement to drive a car. If you think about a lot of the big trucks and buses, that they don't have rear view mirrors. They've got side mirrors, but they've got people and payloads in the back so they can't see. So, if you don't use your rear view mirror, which I don't advocate, you could get away without putting in the camera. I've put the camera in, arguably probably not the best installation I've ever done, but if you are looking at the show or watching the show rather, you can see that's actually the view from outside. Now you can actually make it full screen. So you can have either the maps, which I've got up at the moment, full screen, or you can have the rear view full screen. There's actually just another shot showing you now. I'm playing the music side of things as well. So you got the Apple Music. But this was also a really cool function. There are both cameras. So the dash camera is recording the front. The one on the left is the front, looking out down past the units where I live. and the camera on the back is recording from the back. And you can see I've just done it. It's actually got a time and date stamp there. This was on Saturday, 8th of October, Sunday. I don't know. It was some day over the weekend. So there it is. And the camera button's there so you can actually take a picture like you would expect with a normal dash camera function. Really great, really pretty easy to put in. As I said, if you're not technical, you might want to actually get someone to help you with the installation. So let's have a look at some of the pics here. If I carry on, now this was one of the cool features, right? So if I go back, there's the camera front and back. There's the full view of my camera looking at the back. So that's the driveway behind where I live. And also this, I just need to say, this is a Sony sensor. So the image qualities are really, really good. They're sharp. And this is probably important if you're actually trying to record it for like you would with a normal dash cam. But have a look at this feature. You see the little slider there? There's an up and down slider. Now, I think I've actually recorded it. There must be a play button here somewhere. There we go. You can actually tilt the view of the camera, both front and back. This is the back camera. So I can actually, so there's a hedge behind me. If I wanted to, and I've got beep, beep, beep in my car, I could actually tilt the camera down to see if there's anything there. And again, this is front and back, that feature works. I think that's really cool and well thought of. And I tell you why I say that. It does have reverse assist, like where it shows the lines, but that needs to be wired into, it's either the reverse light or you have to trail it back to the reverse gear. I'm not sure. I didn't bother finding out because I am not going to do it because I'm already challenged when it comes to installing wires. So the last thing I want to do now is try and put something on the wrong wire somewhere and then maybe break it. Again, I could probably Google it, probably get someone to help me. But I just wanted to play. So I'm not too perturbed personally if I don't have those reverse lines on the camera. Never had them before. And I'm quite happy to just listen to the audio side, and I can even pan tilt if I need to. So yeah, I did mention the second wire in the picture that's going down to connect to your phone. It has FM transmit and full Bluetooth. So you do not need to hardwire your device. The only reason I do advocate for hardwiring is that I only have one cigarette port without an adapter in my car. So because the charger or the power is being used to power the Magic Mirror, I don't have another one to charge my phone. So that's where this becomes quite handy, is that because you're using maps and because you're using music, it is actually using battery on your phone. So by plugging in the phone and hardwiring, you actually keep your phone charged as well. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I will mention it again, that it actually has crash detect as well. So because it's a dash cam, when and hopefully you never get into an incident where you need to use it, but if you have a crash, it will detect it. It's got a sensor built in that detects obviously the inertia or the change in inertia, and it starts recording. So everything from that moment of impact onwards would be recorded, which is probably good if it comes down to an insurance claim or anything like that. So it has the full features of a dash cam if you were looking to buy a dash cam, as well as Apple and Android CarPlay or Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, Bluetooth phoning, and because of the FM transmitter and Bluetooth connectivity, you can use the speakers of your car and the car radio. It does, you have to find the right frequency. There's a couple of predetermined, but you can also manually override it. I have noticed with FM transmit that when you drive between states or different cities, some of the frequencies get a little bit garbled, and some of them that you thought were free actually start playing a radio station. So that's just something you have to deal with. The R9 does have a built-in speaker, so you can use the speaker built into the unit as well, should you choose to. Personally, though, if you're using this for music and you're using it for a car experience, I would highly recommend that you take advantage of the FM transmit and or Bluetooth if you have a Bluetooth car kit system already connected, and just link it all up. But really, really impressed. I have to say, I'm very, very impressed with the device. As I said, we were using the original CarPlay Lite that I reviewed almost a year ago. That's now being decommissioned and the mirror is now in. And yeah, I can't remember the price points offhand. The website is carplay.tw. I think it was about $200 or $300 for the device, for the R9. And yeah, if you're looking at getting some smarts in your analog car, then definitely one to consider. If you go to the website, you will see that the original device I'm talking about, the normal CarPlay Lite. So if you don't want to put in a mirror system, or you're concerned about using your mirror or losing your mirror, you can still get the normal unit. That actually, mine came with a reverse camera as well, which I never bothered to actually install because I just didn't bother to install it. So you can still get the features of reverse cam if you use the other device as well with the little camera. But for me, it was all about the experience of just having the bigger screen for maps and for music, and being able to just control it all on touch without actually having to, one, touch my phone, which is illegal, and two, never being accused of touching my phone because I don't need to. So yeah, that's the Carplay R9 Magic Mirror, CarPlay, and Dashcam. Right, where else are we? Let's carry on. Tech news with a Z. So this is an interesting one. Now, for those of you that know me, I don't like having anything bad to say about Microsoft. So it really does hurt me to have to tell you that if you are considering between upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11 or staying on Windows 10, well, if you're part of 43% of the machines in the world that can't upgrade, don't worry about it. The advice I can give you, though, get a Mac. What else have we got? Let's see. A blank screen. Oh, okay. So with all the hacking and cyber security and cyber threats that are going on at the moment, this was a bit uneasy, given one, that as we speak, my wife is in the air flying overseas, and I'll be flying overseas in the next week or so. But there was a Russian group actually hacked several major airports in the States this week. I think it was actually yesterday, including Atlanta, Chicago, and LAX. Now, those are three of the top 10 busiest airports in the world. And the fact that someone could hack their systems, we're sitting in Australia and everyone's going, oh, Optus, you bad people, we're going to come after you. They're going to lose millions of dollars in fines and all kinds of things. Hello, everyone. 3 airports in America getting attacked again. We're in October. Do I need to remind you what happened in September 20 odd years ago? When you start screwing around with airports and airport security, I think that's a little bit more important than worried about if someone stole a picture of your pet dog and posted it on TikTok. Staying with data breaches, and another one of my absolutely favorite companies, but this is more of a warning from them than anything else. But Meta, or Facebook, has warned that hundreds of apps on the Apple, and when I say hundreds, I'm talking about over 400 apps on the Apple and the Google Play stores, have actually been designed or were designed to steal login credentials. Now, I have to pause there for a second and ask, who do we hold liable for this? Do we hold Apple and Google liable for this because they allowed these apps to go into their stores and steal my data or use my logins? And what this login specifically refers to, when you go into an app or you go into a website and it says log in with Facebook or log in with Twitter or log in with Apple, log in with Google. So it's called an AOAuth or OAuth as in authorize. So the OAuth login. Now, do we hold Apple and Google responsible, or do we actually hold Facebook responsible? Because it was Facebook's responsibility to protect the authentication of the login coming in through the app against my credentials. Maybe companies have to insist on two-factor authentication. If you don't use two-form factor authentication, 2FA, you're stupid. Sorry, don't know you, and I don't want you to stop listening to my show, and I don't mean to call you stupid, but you're stupid. It's just, in this day and age, if companies put the effort of giving us extra layers of security, please take advantage of it. Don't be lazy. Do not use the same password over and over and over and over and over and over and over again as either, because once they crack it once, they can crack everything. And there's like a recipe, right? Once an account's been hacked, then you go to Insta, Facebook, bank accounts, knowing where the person is, telcos and bank accounts in their country, and you just start playing with email addresses and that same password. So I like to use password. I cannot speak today. Authenticators, And I also like to use the recommended password. So if you have an iPhone and it goes, we recommend this one, and it's Ghibli Goop, use it. The phone will remember it. It's always logged into your iCloud. The same applies for Android. They do the same thing. Chrome will remember it. Whenever you swap devices, you just sign back into your account and it will be there. Talking about signing into your main account, whether you use Apple or Google, please make sure your password is a super hard one. So yeah. Then onto a more positive note, Amazon. I'm really starting to love Amazon as these years click on. They're just doing so many cool things. I love Prime Video. There's good content on there. Their pricing is good. Their delivery is excellent. I get good deals on Amazon. I'm really becoming a big fan of Amazon, and their own Twitch, because we're gamers, so we love Amazon. But what the article is all about today, they have just agreed to invest more than €1 billion in the next 5 years in electric vans, so across their European fleet. So that's going to basically triple their fleet from 3,000 units to 10,000 units by 2025. That's a great initiative. And, it's one that I hope other companies follow as well. With this move to going green and electrifying everything and EVs, shout out to Alon, who has a Tesla, and I'm very jealous. But anyway, when big companies who are actually responsible for a lot of the delivery and a lot of the movement are putting in the effort, then I think we all can look at it as well. And there's lots of initiatives and government grants to help subsidize the cost of EVs. So yeah, give it some thought in your next vehicle purchase. Right, so that takes us to the end of tech news, and we are you game. Okay, so I didn't play any games this week. Well, I played some of my normal games, but I didn't play any new games this week, purely because I was suffering from FOMO. So Australian Esports Week was on in Melbourne this week, and last week, sorry, and culminated into the weekend of PAX, which is like cosplay and gaming and influencers, and it's just awesome geekful. If you're watching the show, you can see a screen there with all those things, all the independent games that are available, and people who dressed up, and it's just, yeah, I had massive FOMO, but I just couldn't get down to Melbourne. So it is what it is. Hopefully I'll be there in 2023. But so because of that, that was my RU game this week. I was watching other people playing games. I watched some of the live streams coming through from both the firesides and panels, as well as the gaming. So yeah, I did game through someone else's eyes, and I will be there for 2023. So Q&A. Do I have a question? There was a question that came through, and it's actually, there isn't. I'm kind of making up this question because it was, okay. So Gail is about to land overseas as we speak, my wife. I'm traveling next week. She asked me the question. I thought that would make a great Q&A for the show, given that she's traveling and I'm about to travel. So I thought I'd share one of my travel tips. So I'm going to be traveling, and as you know, there are many chargers. I mean, if I look at my desk now, I've got micro USB still, Apple Lightning port, USB-C, and I have one device on my desk that's got a bespoke connector for my glasses, for my lucid glasses. So I've got 4 different charging requirements if I move from this desk. And then some of them the same, like my headset's USB-C, and so is the watch. My battery pack is USB-C as well. So some of them share it. So here's my solution. I have a really cool battery pack. It's a 10,000 milliamp wireless charging battery pack that will charge while it charges. It's from Mophie. I have actually reviewed it, I think, on the show before. So basically what I do is I take that with me with either a squid. So this is a squid. It's got a USB-C on the one side, a USB-A on the one side, and then multiple connectors. So I've got micro, USB-C, and Apple. I take a squid with me, and then I charge my phone on top of the wireless charger, and I have a wire coming out that charges my watch, and I'm charging the battery pack at the same time. So then during the day, I can take the pack with me and keep everything charged, so that when I get back again, the things that weren't charged, like the ones that use micro USB-C or headsets, whatever, can be charged up again using the same connective. So from the wall into the power pack, and from the power pack into the peripherals. It really works well. I've done that for years. Even if I travel locally, I do that. It just makes taking less cables. I do have to caution though, there's nothing wrong with third party. There's some really good third party products out there as well. And that's the thing, don't buy cheap, buy good products. But always check the wattage. If something has less watts than what your device requires, your device will still charge, albeit slower. But if it produces more wattage without any form of intelligence control, it can and probably will damage your device. And I'll use a MacBook as an example. There's probably about 4 different MacBook chargers available, different connectors, different wattages, and so on. So basically, if you have mine's a 67 watt charger, I think. If I run 60 watts into my MacBook, it will charge. It will just take longer. But if I had to take a 90 watt charger without intelligent control and put into my MacBook, I will damage the device. So just read that. And, unfortunately, a lot of the print on these things is like, it's really small. So the trick there is take a photograph of it and then you can zoom in as well. But yeah, I like to travel light. I will be going with 2 adapters, one with 2 ports. One will charge my power pack. The other one will give me an extra dedicated cable for something. And then all my devices will charge on it wirelessly or with it remotely after the fact. So hopefully that helps you. As I said, I did the same thing for Gal. That's how she's left. She's got the same. And Kate and I will travel the same way. So there we go. So that brings us to the end of Q&A. Again, sorry I didn't make Wednesday. I might not make next Wednesday either, but I am playing with some incredibly cool tech at the moment and have been for the last week. That's also why I actually didn't game, now that I think about it. Can't really tell you what it is, but I will be reviewing that on the next show. So yeah, I think that takes us to the end of it. So only one thing, until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.